With my creations, I hope to bring to society an enriched relationship to a material, to the way they see the world, to the way they use their environment or their space. I'd like to change their habits. I'd like to bring about a new way of seeing and living. What I do in the studio is I push the limits of what glass is and what people think glass can do. So very often, my works in glass don't look like they are glass. They look like a lot of other things, but they're defined as glass. And so it's a challenge. People have to change the way they perceive something. And I think that's a good spot for design to be in. I think glass has one special ingredient that other materials don't have, and that is the presence of light. Glass by nature bends a ray of light. It doesn't bounce it. It actually allows light to be absorbed, transmitted, and come out on the other side. So there is a lot of play with phenomenology as much as it is about material. So I think that makes glass very special and interesting, also complicated. I'd like my creations to get people to see the world in a new way. I'd like to change the way people use their vision, people use their hands, people relate to their immediate environment and the objects in it. If I can change something about that, then I'm very happy. I think architecture and design go hand in hand. Architecture as a discipline provides a framework, a structure, a path for design to manifest. And I think of design as strategies where you implement ideas into that space. So it is specific solutions within a framework. In that sense, I feel that design and architecture are incomplete without each other, especially if design takes into account ideas of reuse and consistency and sustainability and all those really abstract ideas that architecture brings. Design can actually implement in reality into the spaces. So I feel like you can't do one without the other. To me, good design comes across as intuitive. Good design is responsive. Good design is also proactive. Good design for me, I would like to believe, is also environmentally responsible. It also engages craftspeople and people who function with alternate technologies. Above everything else, I think good design is honest. I like design that works with new technologies and old technologies. I like design that is intuitive for the viewer or the user. I like design that extends itself to craft communities or weaker sections or brings about social equity through design. I like that ethic very much. I think good design is innovative. It transforms something. It changes something about something. Design is a great solution to meeting real needs, but I think design has the potential to transform reality. It has a way to transform the way we see something or the way we use something or the way we respond to something. And the minute you change any of those, you're creating new needs somewhere down the line. So I think design can also create new needs. I see too much design that is clean space, that relies on the computer too much to render ideas and does not appreciate the reality of materials and technologies as they relate to the hand. So I would encourage new designers to really incorporate that into their practice. I think new designers should focus on the honesty of their voice and be enthusiastic about offering it to the world. Be generous. Unfortunately, when I graduated from design school, there weren't any competitions going around. So no, I think these are opportunities that have come up in the last decade for people to participate in. So I didn't do any of that. Yeah, I think people should, if someone's out there wanting to hear your idea, the only way you're going to get better at your ideas is by voicing them. If you never tell people or articulate what your design idea is, you'll never practice, you'll never get better at saying it, you'll never get better at doing it. So I think design competitions are a great way to put your ideas out there. I think it's better for people to do it in their final years or maybe junior year of school, because when you're a freshman, you haven't figured out how to think through. So it becomes too much. This is my experience. I also teach students. So from my teaching experience, I've learned that if you're a freshman and you're struggling with skills on how to draw and how to think clearly through a problem, to say, hey, submit to a design competition puts you in a position where you feel very inadequate. But by the time you're in junior year, you've experienced a few different materials, you know, a couple different rendering styles, you've learned a couple things about the world, you've been exposed to enough stuff in the real world that you're like, I have an opinion about that. This is something, you know, you have that, and then you can actually present your worldview.